Okay. All right. Okay, Tanya. So here we go. Today we're going to be talking about marketing the property on the MLS and on websites and social media. What are your thoughts on marketing real estate for real estate agents?
So, obviously, there's a lot we could talk about for this, but I did also want to clear up before we really dive in that there's different forms of advertising for real estate agents. There's real estate agents advertising themselves to win more clients, to be able to actually pick up listings. But today we're going to talk more about advertising the actual home for sale and getting a quick sale. Um, so if you guys have questions about actually marketing yourself and getting leads and things like that, we can discuss that. You can contact me, and I have lots of ideas. But today we're going to talk about the house itself. So we covered a lot of content up until this point, and all of those milestones we discussed are a huge part of actually marketing the house. It all works as a whole and kind of a cycle. So before you actually start marketing your home or you list it or anything like that, you have to make sure that the house is ready, right? So the other things we discussed, doing small repairs, cleaning the house, decluttering, preparing it, getting it staged, and getting amazing photographs. Those are all extremely crucial before you even get to listing the house and marketing it for sale. So once you got it up and ready and you got some incredible photos and the house is looking great, first thing you're probably going to do is list it on the MLS. That, of course, is kind of an obvious. And one thing I noticed is some agents, they'll kind of stop there. They just list it on the MLS and they're like, all right, let's get some sales. But if you really want to market it more and get it sold faster and really make yourself look good as a real estate agent, you should probably go further than that and kind of go above and beyond and do as much as you possibly can. So one of the first things that I like to discuss is you're listing the home. Make sure that when you list it online, of course, you're going to have beautiful photos, and make sure that your listing description is really good. You want to be able to captivate somebody with your listing description from the very get-go before they even really dive into that listing and start looking at things. So it's kind of pointless to make your listing description 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, because they can see that in the detail of the home and in the features. So there's not any point to put that in your description. Your listing description should be something really exciting and captivating. So, right in there, what are the best selling features of the home? Like beautiful remodeled house with a view and a great school or whatever, something that's going to actually capture the buyer, not just the usual, just a 3-bedroom house for sale. That's not very exciting. So make sure your listing description's really good. And then some of the other things that you could do is, other than having good photos, you can have a video tour that we discussed last time too. A lot of the higher end homes do that. And if you're doing a lower end home and you can't really afford to do a video tour and that's not really in your budget, the next best thing, or usually it's partnered with video anyway, is having a really cool slideshow. So if you're listing a house, don't just post photos. I mean, you're going to do that anyway, but put it in a really cool slideshow with the best pictures that you have, kind of create a story, have some cool music playing in the background, something that is going to help create that emotion that you want in that buyer when they're looking through your listing. So another thing that people don't really think about is potentially listing that, or putting that same listing in multiple different places. You can even put it on YouTube. You can put it on social media, on different websites. So go further than just the MLS. Put it anywhere that you think there might be potential buyers looking. I highly encourage all real estate agents to have their own website as well. This is really good, not only for marketing the home, but for marketing yourself. You want to have your own real estate website where you're going to be posting your own houses that you're listing, as well as any kind of updates on the market, anything exciting and fun. And that's going to be really good for you. It's going to make you look really professional. But it's also a good place to send all of your clients and be like, oh, hey, look, we have new listings coming up. Come check out my website. And another good idea is doing a blog post about the house. If you already are doing that, if you're already blogging, that's great. And being able to do an entire blog post on a house is really going to make that home seem very special. You know, it's not just every other house that's going on the market. Like, you have all these exciting things to talk about in this house and why it's special and how it's going to be great for a potential buyer. I kind of mentioned already, but social media is really big nowadays. Everybody's on social media, everybody's browsing. You have some downtime, you're probably on social media, scanning through. So making sure that you have a good social media presence to begin with is really important. So not just, oh, I'm listing a house, I guess I should get on social media. Like, you should already be on there as a real estate agent and have a good following and have a good presence on there. And so then when you have a house coming up, you post it on social media and all of your followers are going to see it, and word of mouth gets out. You know, if somebody has a friend who's looking or whatever, social media is a great way to really get it out there and spread the word. Something that people don't really think about nowadays is actual physical mailers. I know it seems old school, but it really does work. And I've heard from a lot of real estate agents that they actually get sales that way. You probably already have areas you farm and you're probably sending out mailers anyway. So this is a good idea to send something out that's different than your regular postcard that you send them every month or however often you're sending out your postcards. But sending out something that says just listed, check out this cool new house we just listed. And that is good for marketing you. It's getting your name out there, but also to help sell that house. You never know if somebody is thinking about maybe buying and this postcard comes in and like, oh, wow, that's a really cool house. And who knows, maybe you'll get another listing out of it because they're going to decide to buy a house and they're going to list theirs. So it kind of kills a lot of birds with one stone. And I think it's still a really good method. And I mean, I think in the end, anything is good. It's not going to be a waste of time. Marketing is a really good investment regardless. So being able to do all of these different things is going to be really good for you, whether that gets you a sale or not. Another thing I wanted to discuss is the brochures that you leave at a listing. This is a big pet peeve of mine. I've seen a lot of really bad brochures. The way I like to think of it is somebody is walking through homes with their agent. They're probably going to see at least 3 to 5 houses that day if they're out shopping around and they're looking for houses. And they usually are going to grab a brochure with them if they liked the house so that they can reflect on it when they get back home. If your brochure is really bad and it's like black and white and the photos are blurry and it's like a thin piece of paper, it's really not gonna stand out to them. And I don't know, it's just that emotional connection. You know, you want it to look really good. You want to have nice, big quality paper, good quality photos so that when they're looking at them, they remember, oh yeah, that room was really cool and big and had that really cool fireplace. So having photos on that brochure that are capturing the selling features of the home is going to be important. I've seen brochures that have really random photos on them, like a picture of a random hall bathroom or of a empty bedroom or something like that. Like, that's not evoking any kind of emotion in somebody. Post that beautiful fireplace, post the beautiful kitchen. If there's an amazing master bathroom, sure, post that too, because that's important. But make sure you're picking the best pictures that you have to put on there. And have a really nice quality brochure that when they touch it and they're holding it, it reminds them how nice that house is. And then one of the things that is kind of controversial nowadays is open house. Everybody wants to have an open house. I think it is a really great way to feature the home and market it, but there is a little controversy on it, on whether it's actually needed or not. A lot of people worry, well, it's just going to be all of my neighbors who are going to want to stop by and look at my house, and um, they're worried about people coming in. But in my personal opinion, I think open house is really great, because sometimes people aren't even potentially shopping for a house, but they might be driving by and they see open house signs, and it might be a neighborhood that they've kind of had their eye on for a while, and they're like, oh wow, there's an open house, let's go check it out and see what kind of houses they have there. It really is just another way to capture people who otherwise maybe weren't even looking for a house, and maybe they see this house and they're like, wow, I really want this house, and they decide that this is the time for them to buy. Other than that, there's also people who are out there looking for times when there's open houses because maybe they don't have an agent yet. Maybe they're not sure whether they want to buy or not. And it's just a good opportunity for people to come and view this beautiful home that you're listing. Um, but in the end, of course, it's not going to make or break it. You can probably get away with not having an open house, and it's going to be okay because you have a great online presence. You know, you have it marketed in many different other ways where they can schedule an appointment and come view the home as well. So it's probably not the most important way for you to market your home. But in my opinion, when it comes to marketing, I say do all of it. It's not going to hurt. Who is it going to hurt to have a weekend, of open house or a day or two? It's really not that difficult, but it could be a really great way to have people come view it. A lot of my clients say that they sell their home during open houses, to one of the people who come see it. So to me, it seems like it's important, and I think it is a really great tool. So in terms of open house, just some things that I always do mention to people for those reasons, those risks and things that people are worried about. Make sure you put away your valuables. Don't have things laying out that you don't want people to see or take. Anything in your top drawers that is really valuable, maybe remove that. But in the end, you should have a real estate agent there at all times who's going to be watching and seeing everybody who's coming in. There's usually a sign-in sheet and things like that. So it's, for the most part, very secure. It's rare that anything happens during an open house, but take precautions if you're worried about it. And during the open house, make sure the house is looking as good as possible. Have all of your lights on, have your blinds up, have the house looking as bright as possible. Have a good smell in the house, whether that's some kind of an air freshener, a candle, maybe you bake some cookies before you leave, brew some coffee, anything like that that's going to help make people feel cozy and comfortable when they walk into your house is pretty important. I always encourage having some sort of snacks or something available for people, or even just candy or water or something like that, to just make people feel comfortable. And all of those things, they do play a role on how people feel. And in the end, it all comes down to emotion. So those are kind of the main things I would like to cover when it comes to marketing a home. Do you have anything you want to add or any questions on that?
That was awesome. I had like 9 or 10 big points out of there. And I just wanted to maybe make a comment or a question that when you talked about brochures, you mentioned something I never thought of before. You said if a person's going to open houses and they're seeing 3 to 5 in a day, they're tired by the time they're done, and they may not remember things as clearly as they think. And so all they are left with is that impression from the flyer. So you just made me realize that if that flyer isn't really good, they kind of go, well, I thought I liked that home, but now that I'm looking at the flyer, maybe I don't. Right?
Yeah, and they're going to be comparing flyers. Usually the buyer sits down at the end of the day and they have 3 to 5 of them in front of them with their significant other or whoever, and they're looking them over and trying to make a decision on which one they want to make an offer on.
Right.
And if somebody else's flyer looks way cooler than yours, there's a very big chance they're going to go with that one because that's the one that's going to make them feel good.
Yeah. Another point you made when you're talking about social media, which was I think the sixth thing you said, but just being on there, having a good presence and having followers, and basically that means they're going to have to engage people because that's what people will want, that communication. So you're saying that they shouldn't just only go on social media once a month to post some pictures of houses. They should probably be there. Is that what you're saying? A little bit more often?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have any followers or any friends on Facebook, there's probably no point to post a house on there. So you want to make sure you have a good following on social media so that you're on there regularly, like you said, communicating with people, engaging your followers, so that when you are listing a house, there's people who are going to be looking at it and potentially sharing it and, talking about it with their friends.
Hmm. And then the other question I had was about open houses. So they are a great, apparently, I mean, from what you listed, I can see this is a really good marketing plan, because if a real estate agent did all of these things and they did open houses, that's pretty amazing. I mean, that's a lot of ways, different touch points. It sounds like from what you said that open houses aren't just for selling the house, but they're also for maybe meeting potential new clients, even if they aren't interested in that house. Is that kind of what you're getting at too, like the networking side of it?
Yeah, I also know that a lot of real estate agents like open houses because it helps them market themselves as well. So when you have people coming in through an open house, you give them your card, they're going to save that. So then when they decide to list or they want to buy a house, they have your card and they can contact you. So it really is good for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, I like the fact that open house attracts people who potentially maybe didn't even know they were looking for a house,
Mm.
because yes, people who are actively searching for homes, they're probably going to see your listing online on the MLS and things like that. But there are people out there who have been considering potentially buying a house eventually, but then they see this open house and it's always fun to go to an open house. I don't know. I like going to open houses. You get to see different floor plans and layouts and things. And, they come in and they fall in love. And that's really what we're out there to do, right? Capture people.
So it sounds like they would obviously want to have their home staged before the open house.
Oh, yes, of course. So
Are there special considerations, or do you just stage it normally the best you possibly can for the open house? And do you have to come back and do anything again, or do they have to re-clean it, or is there ever any issues with that? There's a lot of traffic.
no, usually there is no need for any of that because typically the way it works is you prepare the home, you do, all the things we talked about in our previous videos. You get it staged, you get it photographed, you list it, and then that same weekend you do open house. So it's all really kind of close together. So there shouldn't have been too much time for anything to get really dirty or ruined. But if you are doing an open house further down the road, sometimes people do multiple open houses like every single weekend. Then yeah, I mean, I would suggest running a vacuum through and just making sure that nothing got moved, the pillows are how they're supposed to be, things like that. But we don't normally have to come back and fix anything since we already did an amazing job to start with, and they just kind of have to maintain it.
That's awesome. This was really good. Thank you, Tanya. How do people find out more about you if they want help with this and they want staging done?
Yeah, if you need any help or if you have any questions, you want to ask about anything we covered, you can send us an email, Tanya@brilliantstaging.com. You can check out our website, brilliantstaging.com. And we're also on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Feel free to message me on there. We're pretty accessible. You can give me a call, shoot me a text message. Really, I'm pretty easy to talk to. And so if you want to chat, I'll answer any questions you have.
Cool. Thank you so much. That was really good.
Yeah, thank you.